Normally at this point we'd hand straight over into the teaching, but we've got some news that we just need to talk about coming up. So first of all, many of you will know that our parent church, Horizon Church, administer our finances for us, and part of the reason for that is because we've planted out of them as a church. Another part of the reason is they're well equipped to do that for us. They've got all the experience, knowledge, and expertise, so they continue to do that for us. And just at the end of last year, Sarah had a meeting with the head of finance there, who was basically gave us some news that our financial situation as a church was significantly better than we actually realized it was as pastors, which is amazing. And all praise to God for that. And so she suggested that our overseers needed to make a decision to formally recognize all the work and time that Sarah puts in. So up to now, yeah, you know where this is going. So up to now, I have been the sole paid pastor of Numa.Church. But you will know that Numa.Church doesn't happen without Sarah, right? In the same way that no marriage and household really functions without the wife, right? The reason I've said that this has come from our overseers is because I don't want you to think that we as a couple have pushed for this. This is not about us pushing for money, okay? I just want you to hear that. This has come from the finance department that has then gone to our overseers, and they've gone, yes, this is absolutely right, that we recognize the part that Sarah is playing in the leadership of the church. And so as of January 1st, the overseers made a decision to employ Sarah formally. And so Sarah is now receiving a part-time salary as well. The hope and prayer that is that in time, actually Sarah will be able to be released from her other part-time employment that she does to support us as a family and come fully on board full-time with Numa as well. But we want to be transparent about what's happening here. And this is something to be celebrated. Not only because Sarah, yeah, absolutely, Sarah needs to be celebrated for all that she does. But we also want to say this is a testimony to God's goodness. And actually this is a testimony to the faithfulness of you as a church community giving to God. And we are so grateful for that. And we really want to celebrate what God's doing and all that he's got for us. So let's just give another round of applause, but for God, right? For his provision. So you may leave, yes. Just another piece of news as well is that this year we're going to proceed with becoming a chartered church of Foursquare. So we're part of the Foursquare denomination. As I just said, we are a church plant of Horizon, and the way that Foursquare as a denomination kind of manage all of this stuff is that you, when you plant a church, you remain kind of like a child of the parent church until they recognize that you're hitting certain metrics where they can go, yes, you're ready to kind of leave the nest of your parent church and to be recognized as being independent, and then they call that becoming a chartered church within Foursquare. So we're going to be proceeding with that over the next few months as well, because again, because of God's goodness and his grace upon us, we're hitting those metrics now. It's not really going to change the way that we function. It's not really going to change the way that you experience things on a Sunday or at any other time, but it does mean that we're going to be doing things like formalizing and establishing an internal board, things like that. So we'd appreciate your prayers again as we proceed with that kind of stuff. And again, we just want to be open, transparent about what God's doing and what is happening here. So we just want to let you know of that as well. A few things to let you know that's coming up in the next few weeks. Next week, we've got a good friend of ours, Andre Lesueur. Some of you will know him because he's visited a couple of times with his family, but he's the executive director of Global Disciples Canada. Global Disciples Canada are one of our missions partners, and I'm sure you'll hear more about their work next week. He's not specifically coming to talk about their work, but we know that he's got a gift of speaking and teaching. We thought it would be a great opportunity to get him in. So he's going to come next week. I'd love it if you could be here and hear what he has to share with us. The following Sunday, January 22nd, we've got Pastor Jason Eliasson. He's the executive pastor of Avant Life Church, that originally planted up on the North Shore, now have campuses in North Surrey and in Squamish. They're looking at other campuses as well because God's hand is really on what they're doing as a church. But Jason, again, is a friend of ours, but he's also one of our overseers. So that's going to be a real privilege to have him with us in 2 weeks' time. And then 3 weeks' time, we have our annual 5 for 5 Sunday. So for those of you who are new, who have joined us within the last year, this is a Sunday where 5 of our church family will each speak for 5 minutes. It's just an amazing occasion. I love it because I actually get to work with these guys over the course of this month in getting ready for that Sunday. But it's just such an amazing occasion where we get to celebrate the gifting that God's put in, the way that God is speaking through our body. I would love it if you need to, change your calendars. Because to be here for that Sunday is just a real amazing Sunday to hear what God is doing. So I just wanted to throw that out, make sure we're all aware of it. One final thing I need to mention, I want to commit to do a series called You Asked For It. Towards the end of last year, I was aware there was a number of people coming to me with different questions about things to do with the Bible, theology, how we live stuff out as Christians, how we deal with some of the issues that are going on in our culture, all sorts of different things. And I thought, okay, there's so many different questions coming from different angles. Why don't we actually just deal with this from the front? So it's not just one person getting a one-on-one with me, but we're able to talk about this as a church family together. So, again, you can do this right now. If you immediately go, yeah, I've got a question, grab your phone, hit up that QR code or go to the website that's there and submit your question. It's entirely anonymous, okay? So you can submit any question completely anonymously. I suspect my plan is that we'll get to this before Easter, but I'm not going to make a commitment as to exactly when we start that. And the reason for that is this. I don't want us to come back to you with short, pithy, easy answers. If you're struggling with questions and wrestling with questions, I want to make sure that we wrestle with how to get the right biblical answers for you. Right? So I'm asking you now, would you submit your questions now so that we have time to actually wrestle and do the research and do the preparation so we can come back and give you some solid teaching on those things. Okay?